Here we go. Welcome
Welcome!
back, brothers and sisters. How are you?
I'm good. What about you, Guy?
I'm fine. I'm fine. We have a nice question to do
Oh yeah, what is it?
today, which is really nice and actually a really interesting question about which artist or which band, it could be a pop or EDM artist, wherever, we would like to remix and why we'd like to remix. That's a really nice question.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Do you want to start with it?
No, I will. I will.
It's fine. It's fine because
the honor, the favor.
exactly because I already knew the question, so I'm a little bit more prepared about that. So I will answer straight. And I got somebody in my mind, which is Tom York.
Oh yeah, from
Yes, which is one of
Radiohead.
my favorite. Exactly, one of my favorite artists. Back in the days, right now, or I got two actually. One is Tom York, and another one is Underworld.
Underworld, one of
You
my
know
favorite
what?
bands ever.
For me too. You know what? Tom York because I do love his textures,
Mm-hmm.
the atmospheric mood of his tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I really love. I love the pitch of his voice. I love the tone of his voice. I love pretty much anything. The intensity of his voice. I love everything. I don't know how he does, but
Speaking of which, have you checked out his work with Hans Zimmer
yeah,
on
of course, big
Blue
fan.
Planet?
Yeah, big fan of that.
But
Absolutely
by the if you love
amazing.
this kind of sound and music,
Yeah.
by the way, just
No, no, just let
it's
us know. Just let us know because it's
just
interesting.
a quick option. If you're a musician and you will really want this kind of vibe in your music,
Mm-hmm.
I can only recommend you a specific library from Spitfire Audio called Orchestral Swarm. It's one of my favorite
Wow.
products of theirs. It's beautiful because
Yeah.
it gives you all the overtones and everything from the instruments in some crazy ways, and you will have tons of fun with it. But yeah, so
God.
Thumb
Sorry,
York,
I think
lovely.
I'm gonna need to quick our chat because I need to listen to the. I'd love to listen to the library right now, so it's fine. Okay, I will look for that later. So no, I'm so curious about that because there are so many libraries that he knows and I don't, and I'm so curious. So it's always so inspiring. He always add something to my soul every time. Have you ever tried this? Have you ever tried that? No, I need to see. Anyway, I googled it in 5 minutes. So let's keep it short. And okay, so the first one again is Tom York, and the other one is Underworld. You know why? Because I'd love to get the stamps from them to see how they treat the sound and how they, how they work. It would be really amazing to work on something they do. Another one should be Moby, maybe.
Moby, yeah, excellent choice.
I love pretty much anything from Moby. From me, is not only the way he composes music, but only I love his philosophy. Just call it that way. This is really strong behavior, and I pretty much love the position that he acts in his life. I mean, he's vegan. He hates Mr. Trump, and so do I. And so, sorry. No, not hating. I mean, I do not approve Mr. Anyway, it's another thing. Anyway, so again, Tom York, Moby, and Underworld. Those are the artists and the band which I'd love to remix or I'd love to put my hands on them. What about you?
What about me? Oh,
Yeah.
there are so many to mention. It's just crazy. Yeah, but if I had to start with someone I know just a little bit personally and who inspires me a lot, his name is Sasha Dikishian.
Okay,
Not many
yeah.
people know him because he's not a man. He is not a superstar or something. He started a band in California a while ago, but he's German, obviously, and the guy got the chance to work on the Quake 2 soundtrack,
Wow.
which was really inspiring,
Yes,
and
yes.
he also scored the Deus Ex series after that.
Wow.
which is truly a remarkable piece of work, and I would love to remix one of his tracks one of these days. I will not mention Solar Fields in my list because I've already remixed him 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But I would. There is, of course, Dana from the boss from Ultima Records, that ambient label that I like so much. Well, he makes a lot of dub techno as well.
Yeah.
So
these
lovely
are
tracks, already two guys I would love to remix. There is also, well, a guy that everyone knows without knowing him. That's Ben Frost.
Oh, of course.
If you don't know who Ben Frost is, Ben Frost is a composer from Iceland.
Yeah.
He is the guy behind the soundtrack of Dark.
Yeah.
All 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And the guy is a genius, really. What he's brought to the series, you know, and everything. And he also has a one-man band, you know, in the electronic scene. Very, very nice music. I can only recommend it.
Yeah.
And recently I got really stuck in music from Berlin, but also, you know, like Apparat, Moderat, if you know these.
Very, very well.
Love this music.
Yeah.
Seriously.
They are really
and
good.
Ultimately, there is one guy I would love to remix one day, and that's Kalkbrenner. For
Pardon?
sure.
Say it again. Oh, yeah.
Kalkbrenner.
Come out. Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the brothers.
Yeah.
It's either Paul or Fritz, but doesn't matter.
Whatever. So.
So there are so many to mention for me. I don't know about you, but I feel like there are so many people who influence us just constantly. You have this constant flow of new music and everything. I was not even mentioning Olafur Arnolds because I love him so much. You know him?
Of course. Such a genius indeed. Such a genius. I don't know how he does.
Amazing music.
Yeah, agree. I don't know how he does. I mean, starting now, I don't know, because some textures are, I don't know, I think I never had inside me to think or to create an atmosphere, a texture like that, because it's always incredible, actually. So I don't know, it's beautiful.
Another question that comes to mind, and because I want to ask you, do you make a lot of remixes, like unofficially, of this kind of artists?
Yeah, because sometimes I take I take some a cappella from YouTube and I say, wow, this should be fine to make a kind of patternized version of this classic or that classic. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel myself a little bit more comfortable with that because artists say, okay, you can do it. We will never sell it, but you can spread it if you want. Sometimes not. I got a big report from I cannot say who did it, but unfortunately I made an unofficial remix of a classic last year, and they reported me. Actually, they wrote me on my Facebook, please take it out now, unless you want a big report from us. So I say, okay, I'm gonna take it out from my SoundCloud. Sorry about that. I didn't want to offend anybody, and I didn't want to spread anybody without any permission. So sorry about that.
Yeah, of course, I understand that.
But I see that people really enjoyed it. So please do not play it. I'm talking about something that I made last year. So if you Google it, what a nice version of something last year, you know the meaning. You know the title. So please. Okay. Kinetic. Well, sorry. Okay, I want to say that anymore.
I tend to do this a lot myself, you know, and all of these unofficial remixes, but sometimes it's dangerous. But sometimes, you know, you play them just once during your sets.
Okay.
And they become an integral track when you just take out the original elements. You just mute them, replace them with your own stuff, and it becomes a brand new track of yours.
This is probably I will do it with that one. Sure.
You remember my Bliss EP on Bonsai Progressive a while ago?
Of course.
Okay. There was track, I believe it was track 2 or track 3, because it was a 4-track.
Yeah, I know.
And on there, actually, basically the track was a 120 remix of Paul Van Dyck's For an Angel.
No way. Really?
And actually, I only played it once while we were in, remember, in Ghent?
Sure. Oh, sure.
2 years ago?
Cool. Yeah.
Remember that gig?
Yeah, I did.
And I was like, hey, but actually, and management said, hey, but you know, it's if you just take the samples out and you just play something different, but just it's a track. And I was like, it took me literally 30 minutes, and I had a new track of mine, and
that's
nothing from the original anymore.
That's
so
lovely.
it's cool to remix stuff like this all the time, and I strongly recommend doing this just for yourself, because
of course
it's with these little ideas and everything that you come up with brand new stuff.
Yeah, absolutely true. You got brand new tracks which are ready to go without any, you don't need any permission to release it. So probably I will do with the same with the, I made recently another nice version of Ultranate 3. Unfortunately, I don't have any permission to play it. Actually, I can play it because it's a bootleg. But I removed the vocal part, and I probably release it. So you know what to do. You can take it from YouTube. You can paste it on my version, and you got the bootleg yourself. It's not authorized copy, but I think you can do it by yourself.
Another thing, and I'm sure it happened to you as well. You start with the original samples, because this is all you have after all, samples, and you tweak them so much, you mangle them in such a way that you cannot recognize them anymore, and that becomes a track.
Absolutely, it happens so many different times. So many tracks which I released on Bonsai himself. I cannot mention the ones now because it's not fair actually, but definitely I started with something, and then I realized on Bonsai, because they were too good to release it as a remix, and I said, wow, just let me do some tweaks again, or just a little tweaks more, and I released it as a single. It happened, for example, with a track called Nexo back in the days, which I released on a 03, which started a little bit with a remix for anyone else. And then I say, wow, that track is so good. I think I'm gonna release it as a single and make another, and make another. It happens. Honestly, it happens.
Well, so there is nothing wrong with that after all.
Absolutely,
you are basically creatively working with stuff that you record.
I totally agree with you.
So there is nothing wrong with that, and no one can sue you for that.
Yeah,
purpose,
exactly. I totally agree with you.
You cannot recognize the original source, so
of course,
who cares?
Of course. Exactly.
So very vast subject and topic in general. So and if you have guys any comments, please
just
drop
let us
them
know.
in the comments
Just let us know,
and we'll have a read and gather them. We can eventually address some questions you have also, and everything else.
Always happy to read them.
Unfortunately, time is up for this week.
Unfortunately, yes. I have time to go.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Same here. We have kids to take care of, I guess, too.
Of course. And life
Thanks
in
for
general.
your time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for tuning.
And see you next week for another episode of Talking Studio Heads.
Of course.
With the one and only Gai Barone.
And Mr. Airwave. Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Talk later.
See you next week.
Ciao. Thanks.